Blessed day, collective. I'm planning to pull some cards. First, I'm just gonna be. There is such unspeakable and tremendous joy in simply being. This is the one desire. For myself, I will not speak for any. Certainly, we are all here to have different experiences, to live life as we choose to live it, as we see fit, as we see as most desired and desirable. For myself, the core desire is that of letting all things be, of letting myself be, simply letting myself be, which means just existing, which means giving myself permission to simply exist, and for that to be the whole goal, the entire purpose. Just that. It's more than enough. Letting myself just be. Which means not needing to do, not needing to have, not needing to become, not needing to react or respond in any particular way. My desire is to allow myself to be, and just be, and so allow all things to be. That is it. I just want to let everything be. This is something that is wholly within my control, and it is not an action as much as a relaxation. You can't do allowance. You allow it. You can't force it to be. And so it is a resting, a settling, a stillness, and even if there is an allowance of action springing forth from me, moving through me, it still has this still quality to it. There is still this feeling of rest, even as motion is taking place. It is the allowance of action to spring forth, to just emanate, to flow through. And so I am not doing as much as allowing the doing. And it's not anything to do with what the doing might accomplish. It's allowing the presence of doing. It is allowing the isness, the being of doing. Witnessing the doing is just another form of being in this moment. And so doing and not doing become one and the same. It is all an allowance. And I take great pleasure in this stillness. And I would happily sit all day, for many days, for many months, for perhaps years on end, on a park bench. And again, this is not a suggestion that that is necessary, or should be, or must be, or is to be desired by anyone else. It's just the recognition within myself that that sounds completely wonderful. In fact, it's a lot of what I do. I am quite sure that by all external appearances, the majority of my life experience would seem quite boring to others, were they participating directly in it, witnessing it in real time. Most of my focus most of my day and days while I am not working and allowing the flowing of physical action to emanate forth. Pretty much every single other moment is spent in stillness and in quiet. The vast majority of them. Not all of the time, but most of the time. Most of it spent right here. Or outside in a similar place. Here I am looking outside. Just being. Just really feeling into presence. Dwelling in the present with the present. Allowing everything to be as it is. Because it feels good. Because I want to. Because I choose to. Because I give myself permission to desire this. And for this desire to be enough. It is more than enough. Things come and go. All I want is to let them. Because here I have lasting peace. I have lasting liberation. What could I want more than that? This is what I want the most. Nothing else matters. Everything else ceases to matter. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes, comes, and whatever goes, goes. Certainly the form may change. The places, faces, and experiences will flow through. And I am satisfied to let them. It is not any of those things that bring satisfaction. It is the allowance of their flowing. In that I have ultimate power, peace, pleasure, everlasting. That is all I want. I am deserving of that. I afford myself that. I ask that. I give that. And I receive it. We're on the 1111 portal. In it, on it. Of course, that energy opens prior to this date. And it continues well beyond this date. But it is a magical day, a special day. The veil which has thinned and continues to thin, and will continue to do so, not just in the month of October, not just in the latter half of the year. It is continuing, it is growing ever thinner. In particular, each time we reach this place in the cycle, feels like it builds up a little bit again, and then it becomes more and more thin. We're just wearing it away, slowly. There is a restlessness in the energy. There's a feeling of things changing, things having changed. Change being imminent. There are some feeling called to make the change, to behave differently. That is primarily what the change is. It is not as much to do with physical action, although certainly it can play out that way. More to do with the internal change of state, change of perspective, the way that we look at things. Because that is our power. Perception creates reality. All of this world, all of it, every piece is made up. It's made up. It's invented. So how do we want it to be? Because we are writing this story continuously. We can always change the story. I had been thinking and feeling. Does anyone remember Whose Line Is It Anyway? One of my favorite shows. And just the truth that is the whole premise of this existence. Again, every layer of it. The entirety of reality, this dimension in particular, is a game where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. It's all just for fun. We are creating this. We are designing this game as we are playing it, and we are at leave to change that game at any given moment. Start playing a new one, a different one. In fact, you don't even need other people to participate in this. You don't need them to get the memo that you have started playing a different game. You can just decide. Now you are playing the game where everyone wins. You're playing the game where there is no competition, where resources are infinite in their abundance, where everything is eternal and unlimited and free. That's the game you're playing now. And whether or not anyone else thinks they're playing that game, wants to play that game, doesn't matter. It's the game you're playing. You get to decide. It's your game. It's your rules. And in this one, everyone wins. That is the true game, you know. That is the game that Source is playing. That is the game the higher self, the universe, that all of nature is playing. A game that is fun because it knows its success is guaranteed. Its victory is promised and imminent and has already happened and continues to happen perpetually. It is the game where everything knows everything is free and unlimited in abundance and provided for and taken care of. The game that is a game because all of the work is done, because there is no work. There is nothing to accomplish. There is nothing to do. It's all finished. It is all complete. So now we play. We play and enjoy the fruits which are never ending, which are born and in fact increased and expanded and expounded upon by our free reception of them, by our playing. It is our play which is most fruitful. It is our expectation of well-being, our knowledge that we are provided for, that everything is provisioned, that there is no work, that increases the fruits. That is the most fruitful labor. Our play, our joy, our fun, our relaxation, our being, our non-doing. It's a little chilly, so I need to warm up with the tea. All right, I'm going to pull a reading, I suppose. Let's just see what's here. Oh, it is time. It is time to take things less seriously, to stop trying, to stop working all of the effort and the struggle and the strain, all of the stories told, all of the stress. I can feel that, of course. This is a time of year too when stress is on the increase, because here we are digging deeper into illusion, into this unhappy game. If you're not playing the game where everything is easy and everybody wins, the game of allowance, the game of surrender, the game of faith and trust, if you're not playing that game, you're playing a game that's really unfun. You're playing a very stressful game. Of course, there is stress involved. This is a game that you can lose. This is a game which pits you in competition against one another, fighting tooth and nail, scrapping for resources. This is a game in which you are constantly under threat, where everything could topple at any given moment. That's a very scary, stressful sounding game. Is that a game we want to play? Why are we playing that game? Because we think we have to? Because we're afraid of what happens if we stop playing it? Can we see how it is fear that is manipulating us, threatening us into perpetuating the participation in this game? That perhaps we stand up to the fear and just say, I'd rather not. And whatever that means, then I accept the consequences. If that means I am crushed, if that means I am destroyed, if that means I am somehow judged as ill-intentioned or unworthy or inappropriate, then I accept that. I am no longer playing this game, and by no longer playing the game, I'm no longer playing the piece of the game that puts power into those things, that cares about those things, because I'm already playing this other game, which knows the abundance and the well-being of all, and which sees it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what is said about me, how I am judged. It doesn't matter how things go, because the game I am playing, in this game, things go right. Always, all the time. No matter how they appear to be going, no matter how they go right. They work out. They work out for me. They work out for everybody. That's the game I'm playing now. So because I'm playing this game, whatever you say happens, whatever you threaten me with, this whole illusion of this other game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it goes. It's all right to be exactly as it is. Now I'm free. And that's all I ever truly wanted anyway, because I'm discovering I deserve to feel good. I desire to feel good. And what really feels good is absolute liberation. That seems to me to be the source of all things. Power, peace, pleasure. That's it. Liberation, freedom, total liberation. Liberation from fear, liberation from control. Liberation from really everything, because that is what the allowance of being is. I'm liberated from roles, liberated from pressure, from ideas, from concepts. I just exist, and that existence is more than enough. Death, transformation, transition, scorpionic energy. We are in Scorpio season. It's deep. But we can have fun playing in the depths. Deep, intense, yes. But we can still enjoy it. We can find levity in the intensity, in the darkness. Yeah. I mean, it's time to walk away. It's time to make changes are being made. Walking away from something that is finished, seeing that it is finished, that it is done, that there is no more to do here. There's a lot of unknown in this, the great feeling of unknown, and facing the unknown does take strength. Again, when we're surrendering this old way of being, this old game, and we're threatened with what that means. If we're no longer playing this game, then what is it that we're doing? What does it mean? Where are we going? What happens next? It's all unfamiliar. It takes great courage to walk into the unknown in faith. That is why it's faith. That's why it's a leap of faith, a journey of faith. It wouldn't be faith if it felt safe immediately, if it was just easy already, there was no resistance to it whatsoever. But it's examining the source of that resistance. It's fear. And it's time to do it anyway. It's time. There's something new. It's time. Only we can take this journey. Only we decide if this match stays lit. But it's guiding us. It's pushing us. It's calling us into something, into the unknown. And when we learn to face the unknown with excitement and joy and eagerness, because we have that faith, we have that inner soul confidence, that knowing, instead of fear, that's when life really opens up. It becomes an adventure. When we are open to life, life is open to us. And everything just flows in and out naturally. It's a balancing of energy, the lovers. I mean, I am pulling on the soulmate cycle, but yeah, there's a lot that's been kept back out of fear. And it's time for a release. It's time for a bursting forth. I gotta move my legs, buddy. I'm sorry. They're falling asleep. I know. Okay. That's on top. Justice. Yeah. Things are completing. We're reaching a culmination point. There's a great desire to speak, certainly, to communicate clearly things that had not been communicated clearly, things that had been held back, again, out of fear. There is a fear of how to go about it. Still, it's time to just try. It is time, and I speak always to myself in this, and all self. It's time to allow ourselves to take imperfect action. Instead of it being exactly right, the right thing in the right time in the right place, to just try. Let it be imperfect. Try it and see. Find out. You can't get it wrong, because whatever the results are, you learn something. You're learning, you're growing, you're expanding as intended. Go fuck around and find out. Yeah, I gotta put on a jacket. I'm freezing all of a sudden. What's the temperature in here? 7 of Swords. The energy itself is deceptive. 65. I'm getting a jacket. Couldn't take that. It's just too cold. I don't know why. So freaking cold. Let's turn up the temperature. It's time for something to be cleared up. Something we've known for a while. Something we've been sitting on. There's a truth we've been sitting on. That's just, I'm feeling that aspect. Something we have been tucking away in our back pocket. Yeah? We don't know how to go about, we don't know how to get it out. We don't know how to say it, how to go about this, how to put this. It's just got to come out. We got to just blurt it out. It's just spill the beans. Spill the beans. Yeah, there's that justice again. It is also a lot of stuff. That's definitely a component. A lot of things coming in. A lot of new options, choices. Options, choices, options imply choices. Things that we're going to have to choose. When you start asking for more than you need, which is what we are intended to ask for, because abundance is infinite, we ask for more than we need so that we receive not only the perfect portion, but everything else spills over from us. We release that surplus, and it benefits everything else too. So that means there are some things that we say no to. When you start allowing more energy to flow, when you become more receptive to what is and to allowing things in, some of that stuff is stuff that's there for you to say no to. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's a part of you being an open channel. Again, asking for more than enough. That means you have the responsibility of discernment. What is it? You get to decide. What is it that you want? Here is a buffet. Instead of someone picking for you and allotting, this is your portion, and I tell you this is your portion and that this is exactly right, you ask for everything. You ask for everything and more. Everything that is exactly yours, that is exactly right for you, and more, because you want to be the channel to flow more stuff to other people and things. And it's a test of your discernment as well. It's a challenge to refine discernment. To stand strong in one's own energy. Knowing that you are receptive, knowing that you are receiving, that you are attracting with great abundance. But it is the aspect of the Empress that is, as Steve's Love Tarot puts it, everybody wants to bang the Empress, not everybody gets to. That's just the way it goes. The Empress is all attractive. She is irresistible because she is that open flow. Because she is asking for and knowing that she is deserving of not only exactly what she needs, but more. That she is benefiting all by asking for more, by calling in more abundance of all things. But that means she uses her discernment. Things are going to come to her that are not for her necessarily. They're there for her to exercise discernment, to stand in her power, to have an empowered no, to demonstrate that, to honor herself. 6 of Wands after the cut There's things breaking loose. It's a tongue-tied kind of feeling, but we're trying to just spit it out. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's been held onto, that's emerging. Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. Truth. This reflects on both sides. It's the truths, it's the things, the communications that have been held back, that are trying to burst forth. But it's also time for discernment. That is the wielding of that sort of truth. That is the true meaning of judgment. Judgment, not as in judging anything as right or wrong, good or bad, but is this aligned? Is this a match? Is this what I want? Truly, it's that kind of judgment. Does this call to my heart? Does this inspire me? Is this self-satisfying and sustained within myself by my taking part in it? I'm not asking it to serve me in any other way than by existing. And my recognition that I have a desire for this, I want this feels good to me, engaging in this feels good to me, and then it's self-satisfied. If it doesn't feel good to me, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't feel good, I need to honor that in myself and say no. I need to speak that. I need to speak the truth within my heart. All right. All right. Honoring the truths. Honoring what the heart is pointing us towards. Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? If it feels good, then you're satisfied in moving towards it, in saying yes, or being receptive to it one way or another. You're satisfied wholly in the good feeling of it and in following that good feeling. And if it doesn't feel good, you're satisfied in moving away from it and following that good feeling. That's it. There's nothing else to say there. There's no other characterization. It's just, this is for me, and I take pleasure in acknowledging that it is for me and taking whatever action. Oh, wow, I'm knocking cards down. That's gonna stay there. Taking whatever action, I'm satisfied in that. It's not about an outcome. It's not about a result. It's not about achieving anything. I ask because I feel like asking. I shoot because I feel like shooting. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. And I don't allow myself to be pressured into doing it just because of some other fear, some other threat, essentially, perceived threat of what happens if I don't. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. That's it. Standing in that confidence, being proud of yourself, pleased with yourself for that, for following your own guidance and intuition. And it really does not fucking matter what happens. You follow your heart, you feel good. You do the thing, you feel good. You say no to the thing, you feel good. That's it. You're all in your own energy. The whole time you stay within your own energy. You're not leaking out, you're not trying to siphon from anybody else. You feel good. You're self-contained, you are self-sourced. So this is interesting because nothing happens by coincidence. This was not the bottom card. It is now. It is now. What would have been the bottom card is a 5 of Cups. But I'm going to show you, when I knocked it off, it landed in reverse. I bumped it and it landed in reverse. It's time for this to shift. It wasn't supposed to be upright. The orientation of the cards doesn't really matter. You can feel, it's about feeling the energy and reading the context. But it's time for something new. to realize the benefit of contrast. The benefit of contrast, the benefit of intense experience, the benefit of heating and cooling. Yeah, and using, there's the King of Swords. I still am getting some of that sort of, it's discernment. It is that razor sharp discernment, especially with the sun underneath. Seeing with absolute clarity and taking action on that. What makes us happy? What makes us happy to move towards? What behavior makes us happy with ourselves? What behavior, what action in this would please us internally? What are we doing that's out of a fear of disappointing others and that's disappointing ourselves? Can we stop doing that? Can we see what's happening there and then make an empowered choice to stop doing that? And then feel how good that feels. To surrender, to say you're in control of your own emotion and I give up that power back to you. I take back my power over disappointment. I'm no longer going to feel disappointed because I'm no longer behaving in a way that I'm not pleased with. I'm going to take the action that I can take, which is honoring myself, what it is that feels right to me, doing that, and utterly surrendering the consequences, the outcome, the result. If you're unhappy, you're allowed to be unhappy. If you're angry, you're allowed to be angry. If you feel disappointed in this, you're allowed to be disappointed. I allow that. In fact, I champion you in your feeling of whatever it is that you're feeling. And I'm going to do the same for myself. I'm not going to blame you or credit you. I'm not going to give you responsibility for how I'm feeling. And I am going to feel empowered by it, whatever it is. So if I feel angry, I'm not going to say it's your fault. I'm going to realize there's no fault here. There's nothing making me feel. You don't make me feel. Situations don't make me feel. What I feel is what I feel. It's based on perspective. But I can let any emotion serve me by making it conscious, by feeling it deliberately. I can allow the flow of emotion through me. I can witness it and surrender to it and accept that it's there. Witness it in non-judgment and allow it to be. I can allow anger to be. I can allow grief to be. I can let it speak and flow through and know that it's serving a purpose by existing. That is its purpose, to be. And my whole goal is to allow being. There is tremendous satisfaction in that. It's also really attractive. Just energetically, that's true. When you are self-contained, when you are thriving in your own energy and you're not trying to take energy from anyone else and you're not giving it away to anyone else. I'm not talking about energy in the way we sort of discuss it in the physical sense, although it does connect to that, absolutely, like time and energy, that type of thing. When you stop giving up your time and energy to things that are not feeling good, things that you don't want to do, and you are just empowered in that decision, or when you do things because you want to do them, not because of what is going to happen or might happen. It's not because of a result. You're not doing it to please anybody else, even if what you're doing is giving. Even if what you're doing is giving time and energy to something, you're not doing it for that thing or that person. That's not what it's for. It's selfish. You do it because it feels good to you. Then you are the self-completing circuit. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if anyone's grateful for it. It doesn't matter if they notice or they care or if they give you awards for it. None of that matters. It's not for any of that. It doesn't matter if it all collapses, if it goes to shit, whatever, or it expands into some other beautiful thing. None of that matters. You do it because you want to, because it felt good to you. I'm realizing this is going to be a long fucking reading because I'm already at 40 minutes. There's a lot of other stuff here, so I'm going to try to just get into it. Three of Cups. Card of the connection. And it's open flow. There's definitely conversation happening here. Communication. Page of Pentacles. In the 3D. I do get that nervousness here. Awkwardness. There's a feeling of awkwardness. But we're looking at something in a new way. We want to try. I'm drawn to the rainbow. It's in the soul. Ace of Cups. Yeah, flow, open flow. It can feel awkward when you're someone who has not, in most of society, has not been emotionally open and vulnerable with themselves, much less with each other. Talking openly about feelings with other people, that's very scary to the ego. Very scary. And most of society is based on that energy. So, of course, it's a little awkward. But we're also, we're learning that this has to happen. We're learning the importance of this. In some way or another. It is... Things don't feel good when I don't talk about them. It doesn't feel good to hold in my emotions. It doesn't feel good to lie about them, to feel afraid, to hold them back because of what other people are going to think. It doesn't feel good. And so even though I'm afraid and I don't really know how to go about this, again, I'm getting that sort of, I don't quite know how to do this, but I know it needs to happen. So it's a little clunky, it's a little awkward, but we're getting into it. Yeah, it's coming out anyway. Trying to move a little more quickly through this, but that Ace of Swords is a big energy right now. That feels to me, that and kind of Judgment is the energy of right now. There are epiphanies, there's a lot of truth, there's a lot of communication, but it's also that discernment aspect too, especially with the Three of Cups connected. Learning that it serves us again to say no to some things. How do I put this? Learning that it's not a service to others to pretend that we want something that we don't, to do things that we don't want to do, just because we're afraid of what happens if we don't do that. It's not a service to anyone to spare feelings. That's a big thing. Open, honest communication. Sometimes the truth cuts. That's what the truth does. It cuts away the bullshit. It's time to get really, really clear. And remove all doubt. Remove all confusion. No more mincing words. No more pretending. No more waffling. No more excuses. Not even necessarily explanation. It's just saying it how it is. This is how it is. Telling it like it is. It's time for that. That's where the healing happens. That's the only way we can move forward, is a true, honest expression of how we feel, of how it is for us. It's just I don't want this. It is saying no without making an excuse for it. What's in the final outcome position? Yeah, 10 swords. which breaks to the Ace of Swords. Putting an end to the dilly-dallying, the flippy-floppy. Putting an end to the smallness, to that's not the right word. Smallness is insecurity, the lack of confidence. Putting an end to those things. Which means, again, surrendering how other people feel. That's confidence. When you say how you feel, and you're not trying to appeal to somebody, you're not trying to control how they perceive it, you're not editing your words to try to soften the blow, or really even be more diplomatic about it. You're just saying it, point blank. This is what it is. This is what I've been experiencing this past week. I've been called tremendously to acknowledge what is not wanted and to say no to some things, some people, some opportunities. Not because they're not good, not because there's anything wrong with them, because I had to honor within myself that it didn't feel good to me. And that's the only reason that I need to just say, no, I don't want to. Point blank. And again, not apologize for it, not make up some excuse of, oh, I'd love to, but I can't. Unfortunately, this other thing. No, to just say, thank you, but no thank you. That's it. I don't want to. And some people are going to feel hurt by that. That's just what it is. You don't control that. The truth cuts. It can hurt, but it's not intended to wound. And it is, in fact, healing. It is that medical kind of healing. It cuts through the bullshit. It cuts through the toxin. By being truly honest, what some people might call brutally honest, there's no confusion. There's no illusion. There's nothing that can be hidden. We're being totally vulnerable here and authentic. And that is an honoring of self. That's the true service to self. Saying you're allowed to feel, and I accept your feelings, and I accept if you feel upset by this, you're allowed. You are allowed. It's not my intention to upset, but you're allowed to feel upset. And I accept it, I honor it, but I'm not going to let that stop me either from speaking this truth, from honoring myself. Bottom of this deck, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands, and there's that 3 of Cups again with the Knight of Pentacles underneath. Yeah, there's something coming unglued, unstuck. We can't take it anymore. It's time to let this go. There's a lot coming in, and not all of it gets to come in. Not every fawn gets a nipple. That's the other one from Steve's Love Tarot. There is that in here too. But the fawns are coming in. It's I don't know how to put that. It is also about realizing that we're self-sustained here. Tell me about the 3 of Cups. Tell me about the 3 of Cups. Okay, yeah, the 10 of Wands comes back. Holding this in has just become insufferable. Holding in, holding back, holding on to things. Sorry, buddy. Again, gotta move the legs. Get the blood flowing. We've allowed external influence to really control us, and it's starting to bother us that it is. And we have one choice, which is to cut out the external influence, to stop allowing it to influence us, to drop that entirely. What's on top? The Emperor. Yeah, that's our control. That is the control we have. This is, I like this aspect of the Emperor. It is taking control. There's some other stuff here. Realizing that the armor is weighing us down. The fear is weighing us down. I do still get this kind of weight. There's a weight, but that weight is within our ability to release. And we're realizing that. We've been letting something stop us from releasing the weight. The weight is to do with open, honest emotional expression, expressing some truths, no longer allowing other people to control our feelings, to tell us how to be, to tell us how to act, to keep us from speaking, no longer letting other people keep us from speaking, or that aspect within ourselves as well, because third-party energy can be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. Most often, in fact, it's that other voice in your head that's saying, no, don't do that. No, you're going to hurt their feelings. No, but what if they think you don't like them? Or what if they think you're being rude or just whatever? Or what if you miss out on something because of this? Well, that voice has gotten very naggy. And it's not leading us to make decisions that we're happy with, actually. It's not leading us to behave in a way that we really feel is authentic. It's leading us to do things we don't want to do. So it's time to look at that voice and say, you know what? I'm done listening to you. I don't care. I don't care. This isn't worth it. Feeling this way within myself, contradicted in my own energy, it's not worth it. It's worth it to feel good about myself, about representing myself truly and authentically, without shame, without holding anything back, without editing, unrestricted. That's what feels good. So I'm going to say no, and I'm not going to apologize, or I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm going to accept that whatever happens, happens. That's it. That's how we release this burden. Yeah, that's liberation. There is the liberation right there. That's how we let it go. And we're taking control of that here. At least the energy is pushing us that direction. I can't speak for free will. Can't ever do that. But this is what the energy is pushing us towards, to see what have we been holding on to? How have we been weighing ourselves down by holding back? Because we release that burden by no longer holding back, by letting it go. That is within our control. Liberation is within our grasp. All we have to do is drop the wall, drop the burden, let it be what it is. Speak our truth. Say, hey, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. I can't even apologize for it because it's just there. It's not wrong to be. So I'm not sorry. This is how I feel. And I accept however you feel. And you don't need to apologize for it either. Feel how you feel. Whatever happens, happens. Tell me about the Page of Pentacles. This is an incredible opportunity for liberation. Liberation of a lot of trapped energy. And just expressing the self honestly. Representing yourself authentically. And not caring about what anybody thinks. How it's perceived. Not caring what happens as a result. It is what it is. You got to honor your own energy. If you're doing that, you feel good. And nothing else matters. This is within our control. Tell me about the Page of Pentacles here. That Death just came back. It is a death of an aspect of self, that aspect that was withholding, that aspect that was stopping us from being honest, from being our true, raw, authentic selves. That aspect of self that was afraid of upsetting others, of rocking the boat, of hurting feelings or anything like that. No, it's time for that to die. It is time for that diminished sense of self to die. Because that's not serving yourself, that's not serving any self. Ace of Pentacles. This is the way we were taught to be. There's a core programming here. This is the way society has functioned. It is don't rock the boat. It's don't upset people. We're taught it as kids, you know? As kids have no filter, right? Because they're not supposed to have a filter. So they just say things. They say what they feel. And they don't mean it maliciously. They just say stuff. And then as kids, you know, something happens. Somebody takes a statement that had no intention behind it other than it was just sort of a pure thought. Somebody hears that and goes, oh, you take that back. You know, you say you're sorry. What did you say to so-and-so that made them start crying? And then we learn to start inhibiting our behavior, filtering our behavior. I'm not saying you go around pushing kids. That's a different thing. But I mean, you push somebody and somebody pushes you back, and then you learn, oh, that doesn't feel so great. And then you stop pushing people. This is, you know, something is said that has no ill intention behind it. And another kid starts crying, and then it's, you apologize. You apologize. What did you say? That wasn't nice. Even if what you said was, no, I don't want to play with you. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was just you were honoring yourself. You were playing by yourself or with somebody else, and somebody came up and said, let me play. And you said, no, I don't want to. And it wasn't we don't like you, you're not allowed to play with us. That's all abstracted and projected by adults, that kind of thing. When you're a child, you have a feeling and you follow it. There's no additional thought to it. It's just, no. We've got this good dynamic going. This feels good. This doesn't feel good. I don't want that, so no. And then someone starts crying. And then it turns into this whole fucking thing of, well, you should apologize and you should let them in. But the kid didn't want to let them in. So now what are you teaching them? They're not going to feel good about it. First of all, we're teaching them to go against their own feelings. We're teaching everybody that we have power over each other, that in order for little Jimmy to feel good, you have to compromise something about yourself. And that's teaching little Jimmy that little Jimmy can't feel good unless somebody else adapts, rather than empowering Jimmy to feel good by themselves. So they don't want to play with you. Okay, that's fine. You don't need them to play with you. You can find it, follow your feelings somewhere else. Honor whatever you feel, but you know, we don't need other people to change for us to feel good. And when we force other people to change in order for somebody to feel good, that doesn't serve anybody. That's imbalance. That creates this whole mess. It's time to stop that. It's right with the Ace of Pentacles. I had my deck upside down. But yeah, that is not balanced exchange of energy. That's not how this works. That's the giving and the taking. It's the egoic version of exchange, where I compromise myself and my integrity to make you more comfortable. And in doing so, I teach you that being uncomfortable is bad, and that other people should compromise to accommodate that, instead of you learning how to face the discomfort, move through it within yourself, find balance within yourself, and then realize you have all the power. You don't need anybody to change. You don't need anybody to adapt and accommodate to you. You're good. You are self-sovereign, self-contained, divine, deliberate creator. You don't need anything from anybody. Discomfort is not a problem. It's an opportunity for you to grow and expand in yourself and your confidence. Then you get to learn that. You don't need anything. And you don't apologize for, you don't feel compelled by other people feeling uncomfortable. That's not you. That's not your stuff. They're allowed to feel uncomfortable. They're allowed. And that is an opportunity for them to rise up in their own power, in their own energy, to complete their own circuit. So we stop doing this lopsided exchange that is the karmic cycle. Somebody has to stop at some point and say, I'm no longer participating in this. I'm no longer playing this game, right? You don't owe me anything. I'm feeling right now like you owe me something, but I'm going to realize within myself that's not actually true. You don't actually owe me anything. You don't need to change. My feeling uncomfortable is not your responsibility. It's not because of you. Let me examine within myself what's going on. You're off the hook. You're not responsible for my emotions. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to experience. I'm going to allow them and pay attention to what's here. And in so doing, I am off the hook for you. The next time you feel uncomfortable, it's not my problem. It's not a problem at all. And it's certainly got nothing to do with me. And I'm going to accept and honor your discomfort. And I'll witness you in it. And I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to change. I'm going to keep doing me. Because this is your opportunity to discover your power, your control over your own self, your ability to feel. For you to realize that nobody has their hand on your dial. So if you feel uncomfortable, then feel uncomfortable and do it on purpose. Do it consciously. Own it. Accept it. Look, recognize, hey, maybe there's something here. There's something here for me to witness. There's something here for me to look at. But either way, I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to make it other people's business. This is not their business. In fact, I'm grateful for this chance to witness something within myself, for something to rise up, to have been called forth, triggered by somebody else, so that now I get to see it. Now I get to see it. Cool. Thank you. And again, all I'm going to do is see it, is witness it, is allow it to express. And even if that thing is anger, I'm going to feel it and express it in a way that is not directed at you. It's not blaming you. You haven't made me angry. You are not the source or the cause of my anger. My anger existed, and it's allowed to exist. And now I'm going to allow it to move through me, to express, while recognizing this is not about you. I'm not angry at you. There is anger here that you have called forth. Thank you for calling it forth from me, because there was something in me that was stuck and needed to move. Now I get to let it move. It's not pointed at you. It's not seeking a change from anything. It's just acceptance of itself. This is what's here. I'm letting it flow through. I had a card flip out. We're experiencing emotion in a new way. A new take. Getting very curious. What's the card that jumped? The High Priest. Yeah. Stuff that's been stuck for a long time. For a long time, we've been afraid of feeling emotions and expressing emotions, because we were afraid of how other people were going to take them. Look, I have experience with this. So much emotion that had been repressed because of the fear of how it would be received. Well, I don't want to say this because so-and-so's going to feel upset about it. I don't want to even express that I'm angry because so-and-so is going to be upset about it. Surrendering that part too. I get to feel angry. I'm not angry at you. I just feel anger. But however you receive that, you're allowed. You're allowed. And I accept that and I respect it. Because I'm respecting the flow of my own anger as not instigated by you or directed at you, not trying to seek a change or manipulate anything. And then whatever your emotion that arises is, whatever this calls forth within you, I'm not taking responsibility for it either. You're not responsible for this. I'm not responsible for that. And I accept it. And if your feeling is anger, or if it's guilt, or just sadness, whatever it is, I honor that. I accept that. I witness it. I'm grateful to see it, to participate in calling it forth. But again, I am holding in myself the awareness that you haven't caused my feeling and I haven't caused your feeling. These are feelings that we are feeling. This is our energy. This is our stuff that wants to come out. It wants to come through. That's it. It gets to. It gets to. Let's explore it in a new way. Let's have fun with it. Yeah, let's look at it in a new way, in a new light. This is the only work. Allowing emotion to flow, letting feelings happen, and realizing they're not caused by anybody or anything. They just want to express. And when we express openly, with that mindset, holding that space, this isn't because of you, this is just what I'm feeling. And then we witness others too in that same way, simultaneously. Recognizing there is an emotion arising within you. I didn't cause it. It's not my responsibility. But I'm going to witness it and allow it. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm not going to put my thumb on it. I'm not going to reach my hand onto your dial and try to change how you feel. I'm not going to characterize it. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not a problem. It's just what is. Whatever you feel is. Whatever I feel is. All of it is valid. None of it is in competition. It's just here to flow. This is liberation. This is how we free one another to be our authentic selves. And it starts within the self. You have to make that choice for yourself to say, I am going to express, not in a way that is holding you responsible, but in a way that is liberating to both of us here, that is holding no one accountable, but I'm holding myself responsible for the flowing of this. This is my feeling. It wants to flow. I choose to flow it, to honor myself. And I honor you by acknowledging however it is received or not received, whatever is experienced by you is equally valid. I don't take the blame for it. I don't take the credit for it. I don't try to stop it. I witness it. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. Okay. Yeah, the Ten of Wands just came back, which was the crossing card for the Three of Cups, which the Ace of Swords is read with. It is that message. The truth will set you free. Just speak it out, whatever it feels like. Yeah, let it out. Queen of Cups, whatever you feel, whatever feels right to you. Also, intuition, definitely. This is how we fill our own cup, by honoring our own emotion, honoring ourselves. We're not supposed to take emotion from other people, elicit it from them, entice it from them. No. You fill your own cup, not by how other people feel, by surrendering how they feel and acknowledging how you feel. And expressing it, following that feeling. This is definitely about communication, though. This is about expressing emotion, emotional truths. Sharing that. That is our power. That's taking control. That's taking your power back. That is definitely the internal masculine aspect supporting the internal feminine aspect. This is a righteous, balanced emperor that is supporting the flow of emotion, not suppressing it. What's right with the King of Cups? The Chariot, balanced. Balanced emperor drives the chariot. Liberation, forward movement. There is a change here. There is progress happening here. This is how we balance our own energy as well, which is what feels good. Again, it's all the same thing. It all works together. Balancing your energy is expressing yourself authentically, is feeling good about yourself, discovering your own power to be self-sovereign, contained, satisfied. All of these things, they work together. They're the same thing. And yeah, that masculine supporting the feminine, coming to the aid, charging to the aid of feminine and saying, we're going to do this. We're going to speak. We're going to represent ourselves authentically, no matter how it's received. We're going to take responsibility for our own feeling and for our expression of that feeling, for action on that feeling. And we're going to relinquish responsibility for how anybody else feels. But we'll witness them in that too and accept that. It's a big breakaway. Take away, break away. It's definitely just discovering the liberation of open, honest, authentic self-expression. Really, truly. I mean, it feels so good. It feels so good not to lie, not to make excuses, not to try to control other people's emotion whatsoever. That means no more justifying, rationalizing, explaining yourself, just saying it like it is. This is how I feel. It's not because of you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not holding you responsible. Nor am I giving you credit. Again, either way. This is just what I feel. And I'm expressing it because I have to. I have to honor myself, because this is my authentic self, because this is what I do to feel good about me, is be me. Uninhibited, unrestricted. And I witness you the same. Ten of Swords is here because of the moon. It's time to put an end to the hiding in the shadows, to the diminishment, to the smallness again. This flew out. Eight of Wands, communication, forward movement again, where something was stuck, it's unstuck. Words stuck in our throat, feelings, things that we have held back because we didn't want to rock the boat out of fear, because it felt safe to keep the status quo. Doesn't feel good anymore. And it's breaking loose. Why is the Eight of Wands here? Yeah. Well, number one, because we can't stop it. But because it's time to make a choice. We've got a lot of things to speak about here. Things that we had not said clearly. There's the confusion, sort of obscurity in this. It's time to clear something up. It's time to make something abundantly clear. Maybe we don't know how to go about it. You go about it by just spitting it out. By not adding anything to it. By saying it like it is. Not trying to soften the blow. Not trying to make it diplomatic. Again, just saying it. If you want to make something clear, then don't beat around the bush. State it clearly. That's the balancing happening here. It's time for a frank discussion. For open expression. This is long enough. I'm not going to beat this energy to death. That is what it is. I'm just going to pull the final three cards and a crossing card. Anything else you want to say, universe? time to make some choices. This can't be held back any longer. It's time to clear something up. You clear it up by telling it like it is. We're meant to tell it like it is. Four of Swords jumps out. Four of Cups at the bottom, the crossing energy. What's fueling that? The Emperor. Yeah, it's time to pull up the big boy, big girl pants and look, there is the Queen of Swords. There is the Queen of Swords underneath. That exact energy of decisive, direct communication. And saying no to some things as well. Trusting your instincts, trusting your intuition, trusting the feeling. How does it feel? What's read with, yeah, the Four of Cups, the Chariot. Do we want to move towards it? Yes or no? Do we want to move on from it? Yes or no? Trust the feeling and follow it. Express it honestly. There's a lot of stuff coming towards us that we're going to be asked to make decisions about. Trust the feeling, trust the intuition, and then just say yes or no. Yeah, don't overthink this. Don't worry about the outcome. That's where we get self-sabotagey, is in concern over, well, what's going to happen? What if I say no to something and I miss or whatever? Trust your feeling. That's fear. Fear of missing out is not guidance either. Does it feel good? Lots of things look good on paper. Lots of things sound good. Lots of things sound like something you really want to do. And you can see, gosh, there's all these reasons that I would want to do this. But what does my body say? What does my heart say? Does it say yes or does it say no? If the heart says no, then it's a no. That's it. If everything lights up inside, then you go, yes, absolutely, I'll do that. If you get an in-between response, well, then you pick a direction and you trust it. You don't waffle. You don't try to figure it out. You don't weigh the pros and the cons. You just pick one. Well, which one feels stronger? Which one feels stronger? I put a little energy down this direction, the direction of yes. I put a little energy down the direction of no. I stop, decide. I don't debate this. Don't think about it. Feel about it. Don't feel about it for too long. If there's any question, just pick one and see. Pick one and see. That's it. Fuck around and find out. Treat it as an adventure. I don't have that Page of Wands anymore. But it's just go find out. If there's not a clear response within yourself, try it and see. You'll get clarity from the contrast one way or another. Either it'll be a thing you want or the thing you don't want, and now you know, okay, I have a better feeling about this now. You can't fail. You're just learning and growing. Everything always goes your way. But definitely, definitely trust the intuition and speak with clarity, concisely, and powerfully. Look at that. There's a Page of Wands underneath that Queen of Swords. Just don't hold back the truth. And if you don't know, say you don't know. Just say that. You don't have to say anything else. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. That's not anyone else's responsibility to respond to either. They don't need to react to that, or they can. However they react, it doesn't matter. It's just in this moment, I don't know how I feel. I gotta feel on it some more. And then if you're still unclear, well, just go pick a path and go down that path. Explore. What's around that corner? Go see, go find out. All you can ever do is learn and grow and benefit from the experience. That's all it takes. Just relax. Relax in this energy. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your guidance. And if you don't feel like you have a strong connection, then this is just something for you to explore, to experiment with. All of this is a grand experiment. Do not be too timid or squeamish in your actions. Just go see. That is the message. This resonates powerfully with me. This is everything I've been receiving for the past week and a half, at least. So I am endeavoring to apply this in my life experience. I do intend that this resonates with you. If so, I would love to know how. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Or don't. Trust yourself. Or, maybe you're not sure. So you subscribe for a little while. Or you watch a couple other videos. Or you say, no, not for me. I'll watch something else. Just pick one. Find out. It's okay. You cannot get this wrong. The rules are made up and the points don't matter. There is no tally being kept of any of this. So just have fun with it. Relax and enjoy the ride. That is the message. Everything is happening and it is happening for us. We just let it happen. Have a beautiful day, morning, night, afternoon, whatever time it is in your space. And know that always and always in every vector of time and space. I think you rock. I think you're killing it. I want you to go have fun. But you know what? Do what you want to do. Because no matter what, I love you. Take it easy.